change the world to please the mother goddess. Genesis 11, and the whole earth was of one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said, listen to this, and they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower. That's exactly what they were doing here at the climate seminar down in Cancun, Mexico. And so they're praying to a goddess, and there's one big, gigantic, universal goddess. She was called the Jaguar goddess here. She's actually Isis, Ashtaroth, Istar, Easter, Esther, Diana, Venus, you name her. That's who she is. And the book of Acts says the whole world worships her. Everybody does. They all worship the same goddess. It is the goddess, the spirit of this world, the feminine. Babylon the Great, the mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, and abominations to the earth, abominations of the earth. And I spell this out in this book, Capital Secrets, Lincoln Memorial. I talk about that in there. I talk about Mystery Babylon. Mystery Babylon loves to build monuments. I mean, she builds monuments everywhere. Okay, so here they are building with these little, looks like little Lego bricks is what it looks like. But they're laying the bricks down, and these bricks represent people. They represent, take a look at this. You remember we dealt with this on the Babel Conspiracy years ago. This was a poster for the European Union. Notice the Tower of Babel. Europe, many tongues, one voice. And I want you to notice that all the people that are helping to build this tower, rebuild this tower, they look like bricks. They do. Now I want to go back to this in Genesis 11. It says in verse 3, in 11:3, which is 33, and they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone and slime they had for mortar. You have to stop and think about it. What secret organization is founded upon a principle of people who build with bricks? They're called Masons. Okay? Now, let me try to help you out here. There are Masons that live in your neighborhood that go to the Masonic Lodge. These are not the people on the inside, on the really deep inside that are planning all this stuff out. Most masonry that we have around us is just a group of guys that, okay, there's a lot of things going on there, and I'm not going to say anything right now, but there's an inner core. It's more than just the masonry that we see on the outside. When there are people who are saying Osama bin Laden's a Mason, okay? Let me just help you out here. And this is what some conspiracy theorists who are lost, this is something they can't handle, something they don't get. You know what it takes to be in the Illuminati? Do you know what it takes to be a co-conspirator with the devil to enthrone Lucifer? You know what it takes? It takes being lost is what it takes. If you're saved, you're not part of the conspiracy. If you're lost, you are. See how easy that is? Osama bin Laden doesn't have to be a Freemason to do what he's doing. Barack Obama, I have not seen any evidence. And people said, oh, Obama's a Mason. I haven't seen any evidence. There's nobody anywhere that has Barack Obama's name down as being a Mason. Okay? He doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. All he has to be is lost. And if you're watching this and you're lost, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. Okay? Conspiracy theory, conspiracy fact. Now, a lot of study we did, and I bring this out in this book here, in both of them actually, the Babel Conspiracy and Capital Secrets, Lincoln Memorial. I talk about this because this Tower of Babel story has some numeric signatures into it, and the things that they say here in Genesis 11 add up to 46 words. The words that Lucifer spoke in the Garden of Eden was exactly 46 words, 46 chromosomes, things like that. So the theory that we've been putting out here, it's hinted at in the Aquarian conspiracy with a little triple helix, 3-strand DNA, is that there's going to be a change in man's DNA. Now, a friend of mine in Maryland, who actually put me onto the whole triple helix idea, sent me a couple articles this morning and said, Pastor Mike, do what you can with it. This guy, Paul Schroeder, wrote an article, said human DNA as nanotech design, Darwin never met aliens. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but he is going on about DNA, and he's saying it's very complex, it's very structured, it's very ordered, it's written like a book, it actually has what looks like computer code in it, okay? And there's no way that it could have just evolved. But his speculation is that since he doesn't believe in God, remember, if you're lost, you're part of the conspiracy. Okay, so his idea is that DNA was programmed by aliens. Okay, it's called the space seed idea, and believe it or not, there's a lot of astronomers and scientists who actually believe this idea. It's called panspermia, that says that there was some sort of alien life form out there that accidentally or purposely planted seed, the beginnings of life on Earth, on the Earth, 20 million, 100 million years ago, something like that. And it created. Now, the article says his idea is that the aliens planted it on Earth and knew that it would be programmed to develop and evolve to such a point as to where we would understand where we really came from. Then we would be able to go to the next level. You see, he says that he's on the good side, but he's not. Okay? Here's the other article that he sent to me that makes all this make sense. He says aliens from another dimension, space, or demons from the Bible, post-abduction thoughts. Now, when you read this article, let's see here. Let me read this. Often when alien abductions do occur, the abducting entity places a screen memory in place, a telepathically imposed vivid dream, or if one is attempting activity resistance, a nightmare replaces the actual abduction scenario before one's physical or astral face and mask any real collection. However, the imposed worst scenario dreams do reflect the inner nature of the creatures who are physically in charge. Each night after writing essays like this one, I have always received a slapping rebuke. Last night was no different. After writing and posting this, my night became emblazoned again with their unseen presences. This guy claims to be an abductee. Now, you know what an abductee is? Someone who's being harassed by demons. There was a movie come out, I think it was last year, called The Fourth Kind, and I saw some symbolism in it, but I'm watching this movie, and I'm seeing here that this whole alien thing, and I don't just believe it because of this movie, I believe it because of the Bible, is actually demonic manifestations. Whitley Strieber, the guy who wrote Communion, basically said the same thing, but Whitley Strieber is on the side of the aliens whom he had communion with. They abducted him and did all these tests that messed his brain up a little bit. This guy